Have you ever wondered which one Turo car can make you the most money? Well, I've been very surprised myself, but in this video, I'm going to show you my top earning car of 2025 so far. I'm going to go into the numbers that I've never discussed publicly and give you guys all the inside look at our fleet to show you how much we're actually making on this car. And I'm going to give you my exact 3-step framework to make sure that you're picking the right cars and making sure that they are as profitable as possible. Hey guys, my name's George. I am the largest Turo host in all of Pittsburgh with over 50 cars in the entire fleet, and I've been doing this now for over 5 years. And what I do with my videos, we try to educate you guys on how to start or scale a successful car rental business. So like I said, in this video, we're gonna get into the actual details about which car in my fleet is doing the best. And I'm actually gonna go over the top 3 because you're gonna be very surprised by number 3 and how close they actually are, even though the cars that we're going to talk about aren't too close in price. So guys, if you've ever seen any car rental coach videos, you know that we really like economy vehicles. That's our bread and butter. And those are the cars that have given us the highest ROI possible. We don't deal with the luxury market, but we do have some vehicles that do go for a little bit more money than our typical $10,000 to $15,000 economy cars. And not too surprising, but was a little surprised by this. This 2022 Ford Explorer right here was actually our top earning vehicle of 2025 so far. And we're going to show you the numbers right here. All right, guys, we're only in May right now, but you can see this vehicle right here has already done over $8,833 in revenue. And it's just getting started since we actually put it on the platform a little bit later than some of the others. So it's really only been on there for a few months and had some great earnings. Some months it's done over $2,000. But keep in mind, this is one of the most expensive cars in our fleet. So we're going to show you the Carfax and show you what it's actually worth today and what you could buy one of these Explorers for. Keep in mind, this is a newer car. I was able to get a really good deal on it. All right, guys. So this car right now at the time of this video is worth $26,910. So it's already almost done about a third of what it's worth in revenue this year already. And what's been really nice about this vehicle, since it was practically new, we haven't had any costs put into it besides tires one time and a few oil changes. So right now, we're under $500 in just maintenance for this vehicle because we bought used tires, not new, and had a few oil changes for the year. And then obviously we have some insurance. But now let's break down what the actual return's been so far this year. Okay, guys, so before we take out any of the actual expenses this car has had, we're just going to look at the actual revenue based on what the car is worth. So like I said before, the vehicle has brought in $8,833 this year so far. Then when we divide the vehicle by the purchase price of $26,910, we get a 32, and if we actually round up, a 33% return on your investment. And keep in mind, we are only in May right now, and this car hasn't even been on the platform the entire year. So when you take other investments, even real estate, let's say stocks, for example, I mean, you're killing it if you're getting a 15% return. We're at 32%, and that's just a quarter of the way of the year through. We're not even finished with the second quarter yet. So very, very impressive, especially since we've got this car and since we've got it at a pretty good deal. Depreciation hasn't come into play, which usually is one of the hidden costs that most Turo hosts aren't thinking about. So a lot of people don't count for depreciation, but we always make sure that we buy our cars at least 20% under market value. So that way, when depreciation comes into play, we're not losing money on the car because it only goes down to what we still sourced it for and what it's worth. So at 32%, that's looking killer. But let's give you the actual real nitty-gritty numbers with our costs that have been put in the vehicle so I can give you the actual return here. So like I said, there's no payment on it. Our only costs right now are insurance. We do rent this lot, so I'll throw in a storage fee that will be equivalent to this part of the car. And we will talk about the few maintenance expenses. And since this is a newer car than we normally buy, it's also been a lot cheaper to maintain. You know, I love some of these older cars that we get to, but there are a lot of hidden costs with those guys. That's why when you're buying older cars for Turo, or there's some new apps out there now too that we'll talk about in another video. But whenever you're buying any of those cars, that's why checking the maintenance history is so important. You know, they always say, show me the Carfax or the Carfax. You guys get the picture. make sure that you actually look at that, make sure that the vehicle is well maintained, and I wouldn't just buy it off a random person off Facebook Marketplace unless you are confident in your ability to source cars like we are at carrentalcoach.com. And if you guys want help trying to find out the best car to buy for yourself, scaling, growing this business, or even just starting it so you're just at the beginning and need that guidance, you guys can go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out our quick 60-second survey to see if you qualify to work with us. And if you do, you'll actually work with us one-on-one to start and scale your car rental business so you can get results exactly like we do. But now let's get back to the numbers because that's what matters the most. So now I'm going to put my expenses in and see what that true return on investment is. Guys, all right, now we're going to crunch the rest of the numbers. No, but seriously, these numbers aren't even that complicated, guys, but it's always nice to use a calculator, right? It's been a while since I've been in school for finance. It's some years ago. So we did $8,833 in revenue. Now we're going to deduct some of the expenses that we've had on this vehicle. So with trackers, those are $10 a month, and we've been running the car for 4 months. So we're going to subtract $40 for that. Then we are going to subtract the car wash. That's another $15 a month for 4 months, so that's going to be $60. Then we're going to take insurance off for 4 months. So that's going to come to $110 on this vehicle because we do insure this with a little bit of a higher one than we put on the other cars. So for a lot of my cheaper cars under $12,000, we'll do liability only insurance. So if those puppies ever get in a wreck, we get paid nothing, but it saves us thousands of dollars every single month. For our cars that are over $20,000, we usually put them on the comprehensive plan, and that's usually anywhere from like $110 to $150 depending on who your insurance carrier is. And we could definitely help you at carrentalcoach.com to find the best insurance for your fleet. But that's $110 a month. So now we are going to deduct another, so that's going to be $440 in insurance. And then guys, like we said, there was the only cost with the tires and then a few oil changes. So we just pulled those receipts up, and that's going to put us at $560 put into the vehicle since we got it. And that's going to put us at a grand total of $7,733. And now we're going to see what the true ROI is here on the investment. So 7,733, and we're going to do that same division divided by 26 contact. And still, that's going to put us at a 28, almost 29% return on investment, even with the cost of the tires, the oil changes, the car insurance, the trackers, and the car wash. Now, the only things I didn't include, so we don't have a car payment on this, so we don't have one of those. And we do have this lot here. So you can see this is where we do our private rentals and Turo. Let's go here to the auto rental. So what we call it, even though the LLC is a different name. Yeah, guys, so still a great return on investment. And if I were to put in the office space, it would go down a little bit, but I'm only paying $1,200 a month for this location here. So between like 50 cars, we're only talking like, you know, very, very small amount of money for each one realistically to be parked. And they're barely ever here anyway. So if you want to add the math into like your cost of where you're keeping the vehicle, something like that, you can throw that in there too. And then guys, we do have employees here. So that cost would be, if I did it myself and didn't pay somebody to clean it. A lot of you guys are at the point where you don't have enough cars or enough revenue to have employees. So we do. So to give you guys a realistic cost on what the numbers will be if I were to add then the space and then employees, I would probably take another maybe 8% off of those numbers. But still, guys, that's putting us at over a 22% return on the investment. And like I said, we're only 4 months into renting this thing out the year. So we still have a lot of time. And I'm thinking as long as everything continues to go well, like it has been, I'm thinking this can easily pull in about a 60 to 70% return based on what it's already doing right now, which is absolutely incredible. But like you said, guys, this may be the car that's brought in the most revenue, but it's not the most profitable vehicle in the fleet. It's the highest earning, but not most profitable. And you guys are going to be really surprised by what number 2 and number 3 is, because when we're comparing a 2022 Ford Explorer that only had about 5,000 miles on it, that's in that over $30,000 price range. Wait, you would be surprised. You would think, well, something maybe as expensive or just as nice, or maybe like he has a BMW or something on the lot that's doing just as good or around these numbers. But nope, guys, right here's the winner. Well, this exact vehicle, so it's a 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. There's a reason we always say we like these things. This is the top earning vehicle in the entire fleet. Oh, sorry, not top earning. Most profitable vehicle so far this year. And it's actually a white one that we have out on the road right now. So this isn't the exact one that's doing it, but it's pretty much the same model. For those who've never been on the inside of that, to show you real quick, it's a very, very small car. So I'll show you guys. I'm about 6'1". Sometimes people would say I'm 6 foot. I like to say 6'1", maybe 6.5 foot. But you can see I can still fit in this thing relatively okay. It's not my cup of tea. Feels a little bit small, but a nice little screen in these things. They're amazing on gas. I don't think you could really put people in the back seat if it's full driver. Maybe you could fit somebody in there. I don't think they'd be the most comfortable. I wouldn't want to. But let's show you guys the numbers that this one did. Keep in mind, guys, this is just for 2025. We're only going over the most recent numbers, not all-time best. And we're going to make another video in the future that's going to go over the all-time best over the last 4 years. The Mitsubishi Mirage 2024 did $8,347.43. That is only like $400 or $500 less than the Ford Explorer that's the 2022 did. And now let's go over the return on the investment. So I'm assuming you guys know that Mitsubishi Mirages aren't going to be worth as much as a brand new Ford Explorer, but let's put the actual Carfax numbers up right now. So this vehicle is worth $14,420. It's actually worth more than I would have thought. I thought it was around 11 or 10, but they hold their value pretty decent when you buy them the way we do. But when you compare that to the Explorer, I mean, that's over 10 grand less, which is significant. So let's look at the ROI on this one, then I'll add the expenses into it, because this one did have some more expenses because I bought it a little bit higher miles than the other. All right, guys, so for the math for this one, we're going to take $8,347, 8347, and we're going to divide it by what this vehicle is worth at $14,420. And if you just go off of that, you guys, you mind, we're not even halfway through the year yet. That is a 58% return if you round up, 0.578. So show me an investment that you can make a 58% return on this far in the year that also has held its value and is continuing to bring you in money while also producing almost a tax-free income because of depreciation and other expenses with the business. That's why I love this business, and I think it makes sense for anybody to do it. Anybody that's a business owner, anybody that wants to look for more tax breaks, use the benefit of depreciation and own these cash flowing assets that are also providing you with a tax shield. It's a no-brainer after looking at everything else I could put my money into. And don't get me wrong, I love real estate. I still have real estate properties. I do rentals. I have other businesses as well. But I can never see a time in my life where I will not want to have rental cars on the road and have a rental car business. It has helped me so much with having the predictable cash flow. And then also just the tax savings are major. But we don't want to inflate the numbers too much. So let's put in our costs on this car because this one's had a little bit more work done to it since it was a little bit older. So now let's give you guys the real numbers with expenses. So just to save some time, I'm going to put in the insurance that we've had on the car washes, the trackers. I'm going to add in employee costs in this one too, and I'm going to add in this car's portion of what I would consider the rent. And then this car did have to get brakes and rotors, and we had a little bit of body work in it. It's done too, so I'm going to put all of that in, and we're going to give you guys the final number with what it actually is. Okay, guys. So with total expenses, the income of this car now is $6,357. So a decent bit less, just with the repairs it's had, brakes and rotors. I added some employee costs in there, and I just want to give you guys the most realistic, uninflated number possible. So putting those new numbers in there to give you what it actually has been producing for me, we're going to take $6,357 divided by what the car is worth. And also, guys, the reason I'm doing it by what the car is worth and not what I actually bought it for, I get these cars at really good deals most of the time. So I want to give you realistic numbers at home for what you could make. So this is if you bought this car and it just, you bought it for exactly what it's worth. If you've got no good deal at all. And that's why I do this, so you have a more realistic approach to the numbers. Because I got this car for $8,000, which is significantly less than what it's worth because we bought a Thompson. We did some work to it. If you guys want us to ever help you find some good deals on vehicles too, when you work with us at carrentalcoach.com, we'll actually present our auction deals to you, and we ship nationwide. And we've already helped dozens of people in the program get cars on the road and rented directly through us, and some of the best deals they've actually ever seen. All right, but let's get to the actual final number here. So 6,357, and like I said, we're gonna divide that by what the car is actually worth. It's just 14,420, and that's gonna put us at still a 44, almost 45% return on your investment. And this is still early in the year. Keep in mind, if we want to be, on the negative side of things, not even the negative, but as I like to say in business, just the realistic side, this car could have more expenses by the end of the year. So this little Mitsubishi Mirage, maybe the engine blows, transmission blows, maybe there's some sort of issue, because a lot of these cars, when I buy them older, they're not under warranty anymore. So it can't be a gamble, but we don't have those issues that often. Not to say that there weren't a lot of mistakes I made earlier on that could have been prevented with making sure the cars are shortages, mechanical problems, and things like that. But still, right where this is sitting right now, if I were to sell it tomorrow, this would have been a huge, huge winner. And I would do this every single day of the week. So hopefully you guys found this valuable. I'm glad we could go into some of the more specific numbers, and make sure to comment below if there's any questions or any content that you want to see in some of the future videos. All right, guys, like we always say, I've probably lost over $50,000 to $100,000 in mistakes by starting this business over the last 4 years, from not understanding how insurance worked, to doing private rentals, to people that probably had no business renting a car from me in the first place, but I didn't know how to vet them and didn't have the right tools to make sure I protected myself. So as always, if you want to save that time and money, and you want to learn from my pain and work with me one-on-one, go to carrentalcoach.com, fill out the quick 60-second survey, and we'll see you guys there, and look forward to growing your fleets with you. And if you guys want to watch a video on another interesting car we just added to the fleet, check out this box truck video right here. Talk to you guys soon.